grid here at Monza in a Cooper T81B. Waiting for the flag. Flag is up. Down. We're underway. Trying to control the wheel spin off the line. The Brabham in front getting held up a bit. Graham Hill in the Lotus 49 able to sneak around my left side. Whoa, tapping the brake a bit as we head down towards Curva Grande for the first time. Up to 5th gear, but won't quite get there. I need to go back down to 4th as we take this left-hander. I got a Brabham right behind me as well, sandwiched here between home and Brabham himself, as now we'll fly out of Curva Grande towards the Lesmos. See if we can sneak it up the inside. Can't brake too late on cold tires. Down into 2nd gear. Heel and towing on the way down. Coming to the 2nd Lesmo then. Up onto the curbs a bit, not able to make it work. Brabham's staying there in front of me. This now will work down the back straightaway towards Ascari. This is, of course, Grand Prix Legends, and it's with the 1967 X Mod, the best I think GPL has to offer. And if you're looking at the circuit and wondering, this looks a little bit different than I'm used to, you'd be absolutely right. This is a brand new, redone version of Monza for Grand Prix Legends. Completely redone, nothing to do with the original Papyrus version. Heavy braking though, into Parabolica. Have to remember where the circuit goes. We'll see if we can maybe sneak on the exit here up the inside of Graham Hill and come to the front straightaway to complete the first lap. I may be able to get past here Brabham and Bruce McLaren right in front of him, and the McLaren, of course. Completing that first lap. So able to get my position back. I think I started around 6th or 7th position here in the full 20-car grid. Down into 4th gear for the Curva Grande. Car sticking nicely, pulling in pretty well on Brabham on McLaren in his bright red McLaren. And the thing I noticed most about this redone Monza, besides the graphics, and Brabham really going for it there into the Lesmo. The thing I noticed though is just how narrow the circuit is. It creates such a different sensation, a different sense of speed as I get confused with my gear shift there. Able to get it settled though. You really have to be careful around passing. It's really into those braking zones where the safest passing can occur, where previously you may have been able to slip up or down the inside, outside on somebody. So I'll come out of Ascari here, I'll see if I can do it, but the track is just so much more narrow than the older versions that it's really difficult. Into Parabolica on the inside, try not to run wide at all. Got McLaren there behind me, able to make the pass. And I'll set my eyes forward. Almost clipping the grass there on the outside, and you can just see the texturing once again. Beautiful textures from Thomas Leckel, the same author that has a great texture set for the Monza 10K track, and Spa-Francorchamps we've seen Reims have done races on with his textures. Just really adds a lot to the experience and captures, I think, that 60s color palette just so perfectly. The sunlight just looks amazing on this type of circuit, and the shadows add a lot to the sensation of speed and the creation of that narrowness factor as well. So we got a Ferrari in front of me here. It could be Eamon. A little bit of black tarmac there on the outside on the runoff. A little bit of, I guess you'd call it curbing maybe. Just a little bit to stick that left rear on as you power through the Lesmos. Come here under the Coca-Cola sign, under the oval. So this is the traditional circuit for Monza that they would have raced throughout the 60s. However, it was taken or recreated, Grand Prix Legends, taken from the Monza 10K version, like I said, that was created many years ago. And I believe this is one of the quickest creations of a circuit for Grand Prix Legends, at least that I know of. It seems like it took just about a year to put all together with a core team, Janetto spearheading, one of the great track creators. This track shared to me by Stefan Roos a few weeks, I think, before it actually comes out. So by the time you're seeing this, the track is out, but I'm able to test it here and just see how it all feels. So we're closed in now in this Ferrari in the draft. I don't think I'm going to sneak it up the inside into Curva Grande. I've done that before. It doesn't work out too well. And those curbs are absolutely deadly, something definitely to avoid. It's now coming to the outside here. I'm not going to be able to keep it stuck there. The T81B is a fun car to drive, I think, in the 67 season, especially in the 67X mod. This mod, a little bit better physics, I think, all around than the original cars, especially at lower speeds. The grip is there a bit more on cold tires. Maybe some might think makes it easier. I think it's more realistic for sure. It adds a lot to the experience. And something definitely more approachable for somebody just starting out than the original cars. See if we can make the pass in the same spot this time. Getting really close to the Ferrari. Oh, I'm nipping the grass. Making the pass on Eamon is now coming into the Parabolica again. He looked up the inside. I broke a little bit later, sliding out wide. See if we can get on the throttle. Not sure where he is. And a little bit of bumps in the circuit. I like one thing I can notice here on the front straightaway is some of the undulation, not pancake smooth like the original circuit is. Adds a lot of character, but able to make that pass. I've got a pretty clear track in front of me, but I know there's at least a couple more cars up there. See if we can close on in on them. This is just a short race, 11 laps around the circuit, but I wanted to show off the circuit and show off really how good Grand Prix Legends can be in 2020. I know I did the demo video when the demo came out, and that was interesting to a lot of people, but I think that gets away a little bit from what Grand Prix Legends is all about, racing the 1960s F1 cars at their circuits, and now with some of these tracks getting redone and touched up with modern measurements and the technology we have to recreate them from the time, I think it's just making the simulation better than ever. Raised my hand there by accident. Try to see if we can keep it mostly flat. Ooh, I did lift a little bit there going into Ascari, but a much scarier corner in this version. The guardrail there on the outside menacing. I can just barely see two cars in front of me there, just disappearing into the Parabolica. So I've got a decent amount of ground to make up. We'll take a look at the pit board this time by. Towards the line. We're at P3 with 6 laps to go. I got Gurney in front of me, actually. The original Grand Prix Legends came out in 1998, which, for folks that were around when it first came out, things like satellite imagery or just having as many resources as we have today on the internet, it wasn't quite the same. Of course, the internet existed, and even things like satellite imagery were just starting, but to have, you know, nice high-res photos of tracks from the sky, especially from the time periods, to try to recreate them, just didn't exist. It wasn't so easy to curate a bunch of pictures from a specific race, and so the Papyrus team in creating these tracks really did what they could to build the circuit, build the surroundings as it was, but in various places they just weren't accurate, and it's no fault of them. It's just based off of the technology they have. So coming back to these circuits like Spa and like Monza and redoing them to be much more faithful, I think just adds to the simulation. And I can't really see myself going back to race the original Papyrus Monza unless there's a really good reason to. I've already hit my GPL rank at that circuit, so there's no reason, at least for me, to race there. This is the new version of Monza in my sim. Whoa, getting a little tail happy there out of the Parabolica, and I think I am closing in just a little bit on these two guys in front. See if we can run them down. Whizzing past all the billboards and signage. into Curva Grande again. Oof, front end gripping quite a bit. Car's dancing a little bit over the surface. I'm a little rusty. Taking quite a few weeks off of racing, but always fun to jump back in, especially with a new circuit like this. This section, to me, the Lesmos are one of the most different, with that runoff, the yellow fencing around the outside. It's a good rhythm part of the circuit. You know, obviously only 3 corners on this circuit that are heavy braking or slower corners, the 2 Lesmos and Parabolica. It's just a beautiful flowing circuit. No chicanes ruining the high speeds. I know I did a video a few months ago racing Assetto Corsa around Monza, and I think it held up pretty well, but I feel like this is definitely giving it a run for its money, especially in the race quality. On the start there, frantic jockeying for position, now trying to run down a couple faster cars. It'd be quite an experience to do a full Grand Prix at this circuit, start passing lap traffic. I don't think we'll quite catch the slowest cars, although Guy Ligier could be quite slow. Whoa, and just sneaking up to the outside. So this circuit coming together in about a year, being basically a recreation of the Monza part, or the Monza Grand Prix part of the Monza 10K track that's been out for quite some time. A much better version of the circuit. And hopefully something everybody can experience soon. Definitely closing in now on the 2 ahead. They're battling with each other, which always helps. Braking quite late into the Parabolica, having to counter steer as the back end wants to get away from me. So come towards the line, take a look. Just 3 laps to go, P3. I don't know if I'll quite be able to catch them. I don't know if you'll be able to pick it up, but there's an amazing roar from the crowd whenever you go through that section of the circuit on the front straightaway, which I don't know if you'd quite be able to hear it over the roar of the engine in real life, but it does add a lot to the experience in the sim. Definitely closing in on these 2 in front, but with the laps left, I don't know if we'll quite catch them. The Cooper doing a good job here to run down what I think is an Eagle and another Lotus with Jim Clark. Richie is definitely putting in his effort today. Flat out through Ascari now, can definitely make it after the tires heat up. But a really different profile. I think that was one of the corners that was most off, if you want to call it that, in the Papyrus version of the track. Ugh. Squirrely under braking. I think a full, 75 lap Grand Prix here. Just every lap tests you into the Parabolica. Try to let the car run out of the Parabolica as fast as I can, but almost clipping that wall. Just a couple laps to go now. I'm just searching for that air, searching for the draft, the slipstream. into second. Oh, I'm missing the apex just a little bit through the first Lesmo. But able to get the power down well. And you just get that feeling where the car plants itself on exit, and you can slowly apply the throttle, get the rear end to sit, and then hammer it down. Taking a little bit of a weird line through Ascari, but still able to make it flat out. I might just be about one lap short here to be right up on Gurney and Clark. So now we'll try to get a nice run. Oh, I am right on him though. So we're coming, I think, to one lap to go. P3 still on the podium, don't want to throw that away, but just barely can see could see it happening. Topping out in 5th gear here, I think I could lengthen the gears a little bit on the Cooper. About 3/4 throttle here, then getting it down as we exit Curva Grande. The Lesmo pulling up nicely now, making good speed through the corners. Straightaways were all about even. I have to hope I can pull up here through Ascari in the back straightaway. Might be all down to the Parabolica. Closing up nicely on Gurney here in the slipstream. Throw it on into the inside, try to brake late. Gurney brakes late as well. Whoa, he does a little bit of a block, locking up my right front. See if we can get on the throttle sooner. Up on the outside of Gurney there. This will drag race to the line. Clark in front though. Oh, and Gurney with that eagle able to pull ahead, and we crossed the line there. I think 3rd place, but a good run to the finish. Definitely made up for that chase to track him down, but a fun little race. A short one, not too many laps, but just long enough to almost get the win. And looking at the circuit, it's absolutely gorgeous. I can't help but just enjoy the texturing, the lighting, everything I said about Spa when that came out. It's obviously of the same fabric, same ilk. The work done here, the horizon in the distance. I think there's been quite a few different contributors to the graphics and the basically recreation of the Grand Prix part of the circuit from the old 10K version, and they've all done a great job. I think Janetto's the spearhead of all this, but I can only hope that, as we have one of the problems sneak up behind us there, I think it was Denny Holm. I can only hope that more of the circuits are done. I think I said it during the Spa video, which now I think's been out maybe 5 years, but if all of the Grand Prix Legends tracks could be of this quality, the sim would be absolutely amazing. I'll speed it up here to avoid being rear-ended, but and slowly it's happening. We have Monza now, which I wasn't somebody who thought this was an inaccurate circuit previously, but looking at this version now, you just realize how quite off the old version was. So we'll head down here, down the straightaway towards the Parabolica. The crowd on either side. It's definitely a work of art and just adds that little bit more to the sim. You have to wonder what the next one might be, and hopefully there is a next one. I think everybody continues to be surprised about how many new circuits and mods and things there are for Grand Prix Legends. I know I've seen some teasers for some other new mods, maybe some 1930s Grand Prix cars or early 60s F1 cars. And I think I'll enjoy every little bit of it. Come out here and park on the front straightaway. So I'm recording this video now probably a little bit before the circuit actually comes out. I don't think it's going to change dramatically before then, so hopefully it's all still looking quite as good. But if they somehow make this better, I guess we're all better for that. But I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll try to do some more stuff soon. I hope everybody's staying safe out there, and until next time,